Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Jamaica.
Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defenders, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, fruit be yours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love. Teach us true respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to change. Give us visions lest we perish. Knowledge sent us, Heavenly Father, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be yours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love.
Please make our MC welcome, Mr. Ryan Dixon.
All right. Thank you very much, Calvin. I'll invite those still standing to have a seat at this time. And let me say welcome, welcome, welcome to each and every one of you, those who are present and those who are joining us online. Welcome to the Jamaica AIDS Support for Life Staff Awards 2022. And our theme for this year is One Voice Ignites a Nation. Now listen, HIV/AIDS is a disease with stigma. And we have learned with experience, not just with HIV/AIDS, but with other diseases, countries, for many reasons, are hesitant to admit they have a problem. But we here at JASL can acknowledge that there is a problem and have sought to address those problems and provide solutions. And today we are going to acknowledge, recognize, and award those individuals who have worked assiduously to keep JASL on the forefront of addressing these issues that we deal with and confront on a daily basis. Again, my name is Ryan Dixon, and I'll be your host for today. Let me also acknowledge our chairman, Mr. Marshall Stewart, who is with us this morning. Welcome, Mr. Stewart. I also want to acknowledge our executive director, Mrs. Kadesi Walton Livermore, who is also with us this morning. Good to have you. And our guest speaker, who is looking quite sharp and debonair this morning. We'll be looking forward to hearing from him a moment later. I would like to call the great debater, Mr. Raymond Price. Let's make him welcome as he is with us this morning. And I want to just quickly apologize for our delayed start. And that was because we were very mindful that many of you would have gotten up to do your morning run and, do a few errands. Some persons needed to go turn on back the light, reconnect the internet. We needed everybody present today. So we needed to give you a little time to get here and be present with us, whether you are here in person or online. And we have quite an exciting program lined up for you today. I won't spend too much time deliberating and just get straight to the program. So at this time, I would like to invite Mrs. Kadesi Walton Livermore, our Executive Director, to bring welcome. Let's make her welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you believe it? This is the 10th staging of the Jamaica AIDS Support for Life's annual staff award. So it's a milestone year in this. Yay, Mrs. Muir. This morning, it is my pleasure to welcome all of us to the Staff Awards. It's not what we're accustomed to because we are not face to face. And I'm not getting to see everybody in them, done and colors and hair and all. But we still wanted to carry through with the spirit of the Staff Awards. We have many persons joining us online this year. The relevant partners are still, hopefully, they're online. Calvin, just show me when they pop up. But this morning, I want to especially welcome the staff of Jamaica AIDS Support for Life. They are not the last persons I'm welcoming this morning. It is because of the staff of Jamaica AIDS Support for Life why we are able to fulfill the mission of the organization year in and year out. This year was a very special year, this past year, 2021, because we battled COVID-19, and I must say, the staff, anywhere you are, big up yourself. We did not experience any disruption in the services that we make available to our clients. And for that, that's a big thing. And although some of us did get COVID, and we did have significant loss in 2021, here we are in 2022 to still look at those high moments and to celebrate. So today, we're going to be looking at everyone, but there are some persons, of course, with any award that we have to make special mention of. So we will go through with our most outstanding awards per chapter, or location rather, and we will be going through with our stars and our rising stars, our gems, those who are going the extra mile, and in each chapter. And I really want us to celebrate these individuals this year, and also continue to look to say, have I ever received one of these awards, and what it is that I need to do to ensure that we get an award. 2021 was so fabulous that a donor had to put our name in their planning letter. Some of us are a little privy to this information, but most of us are not. So in the PEPFAR, if you know, the President's Emergency Fund for AIDS Relief, that's one of our key donors. We get money through PEPFAR, through our partner, USAID, United States Agency for International Development. And they write every year a planning letter that dictates what it is that they want to support for a year, and to look at what we achieved and what we did not achieve. And I just want to read verbatim from the letter that JASL had to get a space. Firstly, they said, despite challenges, and this is in the Caribbean region, so this is not just about the country. So PEPFAR, looking at their Caribbean program, said, despite challenges across the sub-region associated with COVID-19, Jamaica met its key population targets in ROP 2021. JASL and our sub-recipients are the only ones who provide key population services under this arrangement, just to make that clear. But they went on to say, the implementing partner, Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, has surpassed all its key population targets for ROP 21, reaching 150% KP prevention services, 174% of KP testing targets, and 123% of testing new positives. Furthermore, there were 480 patients who identified and were registered as a key population group in JASL sites. Of the 480 MSM, 89% remained on treatment and 82% were virally suppressed. JASL is known as a KP-friendly and stigma-free space and has been working with the LGBTQI+ community in Jamaica for over 30 years, which attributes to their success. We take up, are holding it up. This is the Caribbean piece, and this is the JASL piece of that note. And I want you all to feel very good about yourselves this morning, to know that in this country, in this region, we continue to make our mark. And that is why every year when we can't find the money for the staff awards, we have to find the money for the staff awards. Because the staff, they are at the center of this. We didn't do it alone, so let me welcome everybody else, our partners online, our donors, USAID, the Ministry of Health, our very key partner of ours. We have our civil society partners who work with us even under this grant, and our sub-recipients under Global Fund, ASHE, Children First, Jamaica Network of Seropositives, E for Life, Jamaica Community of Positive Women, Equality Foundation, Transwave, Larry Chang Foundation that we would have worked with intimately in 2021 as civil society. And we want to welcome you. We are so sorry we are not all in the lovely halls of the Pegasus, but we are here, and I want to specially welcome Ryan. Ryan, I don't need to meet Ryan. We have some weddings coming up, you know, Ryan. I can feel it in JASL. And so I'm looking out to see how we do it. Mr. Price, it's such a pleasure to have you every time, to know that when we call you, come, and we welcome you, and so that you can bask in our glow and what it is that we're doing. My board is online. Really? The chairman is here. And I know that it is that event every year that we look forward to everybody coming together. But directors, we are happy to have you, and we are looking forward to a lovely, lovely program. But today, it's really about the staff members of Jamaica AIDS Support for Life. So guys, again, I welcome you. Thank you.
Come on, let's give her a round of applause. That was a warm welcome. I love it. Now, I want to go and clap same way, though you're for that matter. All right? We can feel it in the spirit. And those who are present, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Guest Speaker, technical team, we have to make some noise inside here, right? So let's give her a round of applause. Look at that. All right, beautiful, beautiful. And it is good to be back at yet another JASL program. And I say this, I like people who understand. The type who aren't quick to judge. You can vent to them, and labeling you will be the last thing on their mind. They don't believe rumors because they know there are two sides to every story. They give you chance before they judge you. They get to know you and who you really are, and then have an opinion. I like those type of people. Those people are who you call real people. And real people are who you find at JASL. Again, let's just put our hands together for all the members of staff and partners of JASL. All right. Now we are going to be hearing from our chairman, and that is Mr. Marshall Stewart, chairman of JASL board, to bring us greetings. So let us make him welcome.
Morning, everyone. Now, for people who know me for a long time, like Ian and Candice, they know I have a few moods. One of them is when I'm very serious and businesslike and like take on the organization, be a little bit mischievous and give myself a little bit of trouble. I'm more in the second one than the first one today. And so I would start by saying welcome everyone who is here, both in person and online. I wish a lot more of you were here in person, because you'd see two spiffy gentlemen, the MC and the guest speaker. Not to mention Miss Livermore, who in our Dundon. And me just decided to make a mash up the Dolly House and wear my regular thing because me not love ceremony. Now, as much as I don't like ceremonies, one of the things I do appreciate is staff awards, because really and truly, that's not a ceremony. That for me is a celebration, a party. So let me start now formally by saying to our MC, Mr. Ryan Dixon, Mrs. Livermore, our Executive Director, Dr. Rob Allen from the Ministry of Health, and Mr. Price, our guest speaker, our other team members who are here, our board members who are online, and most especially our team members here at JASL. JASL is now over 30 years old, you know? So, and we have been doing this thing now for 10 years, Candice? So ever since JASL turned adult at 21, we decided to want to give them some award because of not drinking age. Well, drinking age in Jamaica don't really exist. But anyway, we'll stick with that story. We can stick with that story. So we are big, big people. And today we are here to big up a big, big team. And this is a team that, in my opinion, is not just a team of the best CSO in HIV/AIDS, but for me, the best CSO in the country. And I say that barring none. Barring none. It's been a rough few years. It's been a rough few years with COVID and all other things, including some of the personal losses of personnel that we may have experienced at JASL. But it's also a time when we come and we can take stock, take a breath, and just all those people who have done it. So it's not about the organization today. It's not about just the entity, the building. It's not even about candidates. We stop talking about our previously. The team members. And I want to welcome you all from the bottom of my heart and thank you for all the work that you have done and celebrate your work today. So I'm not going to spend as much time as Candace because she give you all the facts and figures and all the corporate stats and data. I'm just here to say I will suffer through the ceremonial part and I will reach the part where I can jump and cheer and go on bad as I hear all the staff members and what they have been doing. And I hope Candace have some little naughty awards in there, like best hairstyle or, fashionista queen, or fashionista king, something in there to spice it up. But again, let us treat it as a celebration and not a ceremony. So again, thank you everyone. Welcome everyone. Let us go. Thank you everybody again.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now I know I've given those present quite the task because we have a clap, it's just una alone inside here. But thank you so much, Mr. Stewart, for bringing your greeting. Now we have another greeting. This will be virtually, and this will be by Dr. Alicia Rob Allen, the Acting Senior Medical Officer at the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Commendations to the team at JASL that has continued to provide services to persons living with and affected by HIV within Jamaica. Your contribution to the HIV response through your 3 chapters has shown that you're truly an institution of great repute. All your staff members have contributed to your development, your growth, and the impact you have had over the last 30 years and more to the response in Jamaica. I commend each staff member and I give special commendations to the persons who will be receiving several awards today. Even if it is just one award, I think you have done a stellar job. I look forward to the other team members looking at you and congratulating you as you achieve and get your awards and move to the next level. And I look at you and I will continue to emulate the greatness of JASL as we collectively as Jamaicans work together to get Jamaica to epidemic control and work with our persons living and affected by HIV to achieve greatness. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rob Allen, for bringing us a greeting from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Now, Mr. Stewart, I heard you saying, you wish there would be some odd awards or some unique awards. And I thought of some too, because I'm sure some of these titles, we could find someone to fit any of these. For example, someone who you'd give the Walking Encyclopedia Award to. Who you think would earn that award? Or what about the Duct Tape Award? The person who can fix anything in and around the office. You always have that employee, Anything wrong? That's the person you call. Always in a meeting award. Yeah, who would that be? What about the Foodie Award? I know that person probably also laments not having another gathering for this year's awards because, at the Pegasus, we'll be feted with a nice meal at some point in time of the program, right? So who would have gotten that award? What about Mr. or Miss Clean Award? That, when we say clean is in terms of attire. I think our guest speaker would walk away with that award today, right? The Instagrammer Award. Who would that be? This is a current award now, somebody who is now always trending. Who is that trending employee? Who would get that award? And what about the Angry Bird Award? who would be fitting for that? So these are some awards we probably can consider for our upcoming awards going forward next year and beyond. All right, now it's time for some entertainment. And our first performer for today will be Mr. Raheem Betty. And this will be also done virtually. Do enjoy.
With the work you do to improve the lives of the most vulnerable among us, JASL is sent from heaven. Now you can wait your whole life wondering where the storm has come or where it's been. You may have caught your heart broken a few times in the past. Never lasts as strong as it used to, but don't feel as good as it used to before. And everything you used to say, thing you used to do, went right out the door. Ooh, no more when you be the one. That's what you tell everyone around you, but you know they've heard it all before. What more can they say when love won't let you walk away and you can't have who you love, and you find yourself giving it all away when you think you're in love? Ooh, 'cause I wanna be the one who you believe in your heart is sent from. And there's a piece of me who leaves when you're gone because you're sent from. I wanna be the one who you believe in your heart is sent from. And there's a piece of me who leaves when you're gone because you're sent from. And everybody say I wanna be the one you love, I wanna be. And everybody say I wanna be the one you trust, I wanna be. Everybody say I wanna be the one you need, I wanna be. And everybody say I wanna be the one, ooh, yeah. I wanna be the one who you believe in your heart is sent from. And there's a piece of me who leaves when you're gone because you're sent from. I wanna be the one who you believe in your heart is sent from. And there's a piece of me who leaves when you're gone because you're sent from. I wanna be, I wanna be, I wanna be, I wanna be, I wanna be. God says I wanna be, I wanna be, I wanna be, get it done. God says I wanna be the one who you believe in your heart is sent from. And there's a piece of me who leaves when you're gone because it's sent from. Oh, I wanna be the one who you believe in your heart is sent from. And there's a piece of me who leaves. Oh, and everybody say I wanna be the one you love. And everybody say I wanna be the one you trust. And everybody say I wanna be the one you love. And everybody say I wanna be the one. If you sing it with me, oh, oh, I wanna be the one who you believe in your heart is sent from. And there's a piece of me who leaves when you're gone because you're sent from. Oh, I wanna be the one who you believe in your heart is sent from. And there's a piece of me who leaves when you're gone because you're sent from. Slow it down. I wanna be the one who you believe in your heart is sent from. And there's a piece of me who leaves when you're gone because you're sent from. Oh, I wanna be the one who you believe in your heart is sent from. And there's a piece of me who leaves when you're gone because you're sent from. Oh, no, no, no. wanna be the one who you believe in, your heart is sent round. And there's a piece of me who leaves when you're gone because you're sent round.
Wow, what a talented individual, Mr. Raheem Betty. I know him by another name, though. I believe he had another stage name. Rabez. Okay, so Rabez is the gospel version. Raheem is the soul's version. All right, let's give him a round of applause now wherever we are. No, Raheem, I hope you're tuned in to us. I'm going to ask you to do another cover for me. It might require some adjustment, however, to your pigmentation and attire. You know, the song is called Baby Come Over. So get yourself 2 pom-poms, a good bottle of, or a pack of cake soap, Superman cape, and get to work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to hear from our guest speaker. And to do the introduction, I'm going to invite Mrs. Nicola Sibley McLeod, Grants Officer here at JASL. Let's make her welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, my distinct pleasure to introduce this morning's guest speaker. Raymond Price is a strategic thought leader with a track record of innovating solutions to resolve pain points affecting the Jamaican society. This environmental scientist by training and profession has oftentimes relied on a cross-discipline, cross-functional mindset fueled by innate curiosity to apply new approaches to solving, always with a view to connecting the dots across varied areas, with an ability to reconcile competing objectives, to achieve shared goals, and inspire participation to maximize impact and positive outcomes. He is often credited with the ability to communicate to multiple and diverse audiences in a voice natural to their hearing and understanding. These skills are evident in Mr. Price's handling of the process through the House of Representatives in Jamaica to ultimately decriminalize the use and possession of ganja. This includes for personal, religious, and medicinal purposes on a private member's motion he tabled in January of 2013. Despite tremendous criticisms and predictions of failure, Raymond Price was able to amass a coalition of support across the Jamaican society. He brought on board Rastafarians, members of the academic and scientific community, as well as faith-based congregations, and achieved national consensus. The process culminated in the decriminalization of cannabis in Jamaica and the opening of a new industry, which is still untapped. Similarly, Price has on numerous occasions brought differing minds together on other crucial issues, such as climate change and the pursuit of the blue, green, and orange economy. This was to replace the classical economic model that Jamaica has built up on extractive industries, such as bauxite, sugarcane, and tourism. A bold and unretreating advocate, Raymond has given leadership to some of the most difficult topics, successfully taking on some of the largest businesses and other systems of inequality within the Jamaican space. Ladies and gentlemen, my esteemed colleagues, please help me to make welcome Mr. Raymond Price.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Special good morning to the chairman of the board, Mr. Michael Stewart, and of course, our exceptional executive director, Mrs. Candace Walton Livermore. Let me also say a special good morning to our master of ceremonies, to all of the persons who are in hearing of my voice. We continue to get used to the evolving situation of a virtual audience. It's something that I should have some practice in, having been a radio broadcaster and of course serving as a media presenter on CVM at Sunrise. where oftentimes you get used to just the people in front of you who are normally your guests, your co-hosts, or the technical team, and then you are surprised hours later when you're out in the full open public and somebody comes up to you and say, I heard you this morning, I agree, that's the easy part. I heard you this morning, I disagreed, not too bad. What I never got used to was I saw you trying to dance this morning. I couldn't understand why they kept on emphasizing trying, because in my mind, I don't know any dancer who's actually better or more skilled than me. But I digress. Today is about celebrating, as the chairman had said, a group of people across this country employed in the service of caregiving to a discriminated, misunderstood, and marginalized group of people. In that view, when we think that we are in the year 2022, which is Jamaica's Diamond Jubilee year, and that makes us 60 years of a politically independent nation, and that the Jamaica AIDS Support for Life is 30 years old, you have been around for half of Jamaica's political independent life. If that's not a milestone, I don't know what is, especially in today's society where for some youth, living to the age of 30 is something that they can't contemplate. I once interacted with a youngster who said that he can't even plan a meal at the end of the week because he's not really expecting that he will be around at the end of the week. And I think that this far on in our development as a nation family, that so many members of the Jamaican family feel temporariness is the only thing that they can relate to. It is a pain for all of us, and it's a shame on all of us. Discrimination is the reason, in my humble opinion, and I would dare say, supported by a lot of evidence in the literature, that discrimination is the reason why HIV and AIDS has persisted so long. If we understand the meaning of those three letters and stop at just the first letter H and remind ourselves that the H is for human, then the methods of discrimination and stigma and isolation should end immediately. For nobody has created an organization such as this to prevent the spread of HIV among lizards, frogs, or dogs. It is a human infection. It is a human disease. It affects families, it affects societies beyond ways that we have ever attempted to measure. There are organizations where the most vibrant element of its future has completely been wiped out because of HIV disease. There are nations in sub-Saharan Africa that have had to reconsider social development because grandparents and great-grandparents became new parents as they had to give care and nurture and protection for the offspring of their own children who had died because of the disease. HIV, over the 40 or 45 years since it was properly understood and described as a newly emerged virus, has also affected a particular race and a particular geography more than others. Sub-Saharan Africa continues to be the wave that faces HIV dead on squarely in its eyes since the start of the pandemic. And the Caribbean, especially the Icelandic Caribbean, the Antillean Caribbean if you prefer, follows at a very disturbingly close second. When we assess the features of those societies, it is those societies where the stigma and the discrimination against fellow humans are at its most severe, where HIV flourishes. It seems to me that the easiest thing to have done from the start and still to do today is to remove and to continue to remove the discrimination and stigma which attends HIV. And in that regard, on the forefront, We have the Mary Seacole Hall. We hear of Florence Nightingale. And we can identify those heroines from the Crimean Wars and other periods in history where ordinary people, particularly women, have gone beyond what instinct or society would have suggested that they should have done and face the suffering of people squarely in the eyes and intervene. In that regard, every member of staff from inception until now of the Jamaica AIDS Support, first as it was known and now Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, are to be considered heroes and heroines at the level of the Florence Nightingales and the Mary Seacoles of this world. The alumni, the Jamaica AIDS Support for Life alumni. I like that. I'm going to give an example of the kind of strength that causes somebody to go against what they should automatically have done based on the rest of us observing them and knowing more about their lives than they know about their own lives. I'm going to mention the late Diana, Princess of Wales. I was a student at St. George's College when I first heard about HIV and AIDS. The information came crashing to us as youngsters at about the time when the late US actor and film star Rock Hudson was publicly known to have AIDS. I remember seeing images. We never had cable at the time. That's how not young I am anymore. We never had cable at the time. So we had one singular stream of information. And I remember seeing emergency services or paramedics showing up at apartments in New York or in San Francisco to treat with persons they thought were HIV positive in what we thought at the time were spacesuits. Then one day I recall seeing the Princess of Wales, who at the time was supposed to be the future Queen of England. We now know that that did not happen, but she was white, wealthy, and married. A princess, a member of the royal family with 1,000 years of history to back up her position and her authority. And she was walking through a hospital and saw someone she recognized. And when she inquired, she was told that he was there suffering from AIDS. She removed her glove. She offered her uncovered hand. She shook his hand, and they spoke for a while. And when she was leaving, she leaned in and kissed him. Almost within a day after that simple but heroic decision that she took instinctively, people approach the treatment and the contact of persons living with HIV very differently. The spacesuits disappeared. The care began. The empathy, the compassion, the humanity showed up. I fast forward and mention another person who was a contemporary of the Princess of Wales, Mother Teresa, herself a descendant of royalty, who took on the ministry of service as a nun in India, not her native land, who did the same thing with persons who suffered from leprosy. So if you go back to the biblical days, when there was that approach to that some persons should be treated as outcasts because of an illness, to be removed of their human connection because of an illness, and their dignity and their personal rights to be respected because of an illness, has been with us since before the time of Christ. Surprisingly, we still have leprosy today. We still have HIV today. We still have AIDS today. But you know what else we also have today? We have something called coronavirus, which, if nothing else, should tell us that illnesses, viruses, bacterial diseases, and other opportunistic infections and disease have always been and will always be a part of human existence. Between 1918 and 2018, when we had the Spanish flu in 1918, and until the emergence of the COVID-19, there was a belief that illnesses, such as a viral infection, belonged to them kind of people, I remember hearing about SARS. It was about the Asians, the Japanese, the Chinese. Spanish flu, which did not start in Spain, and we won't go through that history of why it was called the Spanish flu, was about a time before everybody that I knew was born. Well, my paternal grandfather was born 1907, but up until then, he was the only person that I knew who was alive before the Spanish flu. But because it was so far in history, we thought that it was a part of history. And then came COVID. And first it was the Wu-Tang virus, and then it was, I remember a former US president who shall remain nameless said it was made in China, and therefore suspected it had nothing to do with the rest of the world. But in a modern society where the internet is the fastest mode of travel, but it is supported by planes and jets and cars and ships and cruise ships, anything that is happening in one part of the world is 24 hours away from the next part of the world. We had chikungunya. The vector was the mosquito. With COVID, the vector is each and all of us, humans. Yet, the approach to COVID initially was something of a common response. And recently, and I won't stay too long on the point, but recently, that apartness approach, that discriminatory approach, that apartheid approach has resurfaced in the language from someone who I believe has the national responsibility to go ahead of the tide, to dig deep and find basic humanity the way Florence Nightingale and Mary C. Cole and all of the staff members at JASL have had to do. I speak of the Minister of Health, who is to be celebrated when celebrations are due. But when he makes statements such as, I believe the society should begin to scorn on the unvaccinated, it reminds me of the early approaches of dealing with persons infected with HIV. Because we are not seeing the JSPCA, the Jamaica Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, putting out bulletins as to how to protect dogs from getting COVID. We're not seeing the Forestry Department putting out bulletins as how to protect trees from getting COVID. COVID is a human disease, and discrimination and stigma are the most virulent forms of spreading disease. I therefore call on each of us, and all of us who may, either today or at some point in the future, hear references to my brief remarks today, to remember the H is for human. My grandmother used to say, nobody no go a shop, go buy sickness. Therefore, however the illness is caused, whether it is because of poverty, lack of information, lack of access to the resources to protect ourselves, lack of wearing a mask, lack of being able to afford to social distance. I remember the early days when I knew of communities, households, tenement yards. These are still part of the living reality of the Jamaican society. I can social distance. As a matter of fact, to the greatest respect to Bro God, I didn't even know him did lock down the country or that him did issue a work from home order or even tell us to tan away yard, because 9 out of 10 days, I am already tanning at my yard, working from home, and therefore physically distant from everybody else. But for others, especially the children and the elderly, it was like the most foreign, disruptive suggestion as to their ways of life. In 2022, my simple hypothesis is, if we finally end discrimination and finally end the stigma, we will get a control on the spread of HIV in the sub-Saharan African states and in the Caribbean countries more easily, we would realize thereafter, than it has taken us the last 45 years to do. So I close by bringing it back to the heroes and heroines we are celebrating today. If it were not for you, if it were not for this organization, the impact, the cost, and the pain and suffering of HIV and AIDS and the opportunistic diseases that come between those two statuses, those two paradigms, would have been far worse. Today, therefore, you are right. Even if it's in your living room or wherever you're gathered in the various locations that you are participating in this activity from, you have every right to put on your pretty dandan. You have every right for pop color. And we, as a nation, even if we don't know that we should tell you thanks, have every right to tell you thanks. So my job here today is to say, on behalf of those who know, and those who don't know that they should know, and those who genuinely don't know, thank you, because it is more livable in this country with respect to this pandemic because of you. God bless you.
I'm going to keep a little bit longer though. You know. I think our guest speaker, I believe he did justice to his post as guest speaker and what a delivery he has given. Let's give him another round of applause. And on the heels of his presentation, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to present our first staff award, which will be an honorary award, and that will be given to our guest speaker. And the award being issued is the, it is here, sorry, yes, the Walking Encyclopedia Award to Mr. Raymond Price. Could you come back, sir?
Mr. Price, on behalf of the Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, I would like to present to you this token of our appreciation for you taking the time from your busy schedule, I'm sure, to come and share these words of wisdom, inspiration, and encouragement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, we proceed with our program, and we have yet more entertainment for you, and this will be in the form of a performance by St. Anne, the St. Anne chapter, I believe. So this will be yet another virtual presentation. So let's have it.
Rise give up, never to give in against all odds. Yet still I rise high above the clouds. At times I feel low, yet still I rise. Sometimes I'm troubled, but not in despair. Struggling, I'll make my way through. Trials, they come to make me strong. I must endure, I must hold on. Yet still I rise, never to give up, never to give in against all odds. Yet still I rise high above the clouds. At times I feel low, at times I feel low, at times I feel low, yet still I rise.
Yet still I rise. Come on, let's give them a round of applause. That was a beautiful rendition. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think that's a rendition by Yolanda Adams, one of her signature songs. All right, now it's time for the presentation of awards. And we have presentations that will be given to Montego Bay chapter, the Kingston chapter, the St. Anne chapter, the headquarters, the sub-recipient award, and the special presentation will be coming in between that. We'll have our best chapter award, and I think that would conclude the awards for this year. All right, so I believe we have the nominees that have been sent in, and we have the winners respectively. And I believe we'll be starting now with the Montego Bay chapter. All right, so in the category of Outstanding Staff Member, the nominees are Carice Anderson, Desmond Campbell. All right. All right, so of the two nominees, a winner for the Outstanding Staff Member for the Montego Bay chapter is Carice Anderson. Now, I have been told that Naomi Graham will be collecting on behalf of Carice. beautiful. Now we go to the category of going the extra mile. This again is for the Montego Bay chapter. And the nominees are Naomi Graham, Simone Phillips, Carice Anderson, Desmond Campbell, and Shaquille Walker. And the winner is, in the category of going the extra mile, Naomi Graham. And again, I'll be asking Naomi Graham to collect on behalf of Naomi Graham. Beautiful. Congratulations to our winners at the Montego Bay chapter. Thank you so much for your hard work, your dedication, and commitment. Now we go to the Kingston chapter. In the category of Outstanding Staff Member, the nominees are Unique Williams, Xavier Bromfield, and Michelle Getton. And for the Most Outstanding Staff Member Award, the winner is Xavier Bromfield. Is Xavier, will Xavier be giving his acceptance speech? Her? Oh, my apologies. Okay. Oh, there she is receiving her award.
Oh, wow. I was nodding. I would like to thank my treatment team for being a great testimony. I know what it is. I love my client. I truly appreciate this. This is for my client. Who is the work? Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Congratulations, Xavier. Now for the category of going the extra mile. The nominees are Unique Williams, Ryan Sherrington, Christina Gordon, Xavier Bromfield, Odale Neal, Hannah Lisa Morgan, Gavin Drisdale, and Michelle Getton. And for the Going the Extra Mile category for the Kingston chapter, the winner is Unique Williams.
Thank you very
All right, we move to our next category, still with the Kingston chapter. And this is the Rising Star Award. And the nominees are Xavier Bromfield, Mario McCoy. And the winner of the Rising Star Award is Xavier Bromfield.
Thank you again very much. You.
All right, you're welcome. Now we move to the St. Anne chapter. In the category of Outstanding Staff Member, the nominees are Latoya Berry, Debian Bailey, and Elroy Peters. And the winner in the category of the most outstanding staff member for the St. Anne chapter is Debian Bailey. All right, I was waiting for the acceptance speech from Debbie Ann. All right, well, we move on to the next category in the St. Anne chapter. This is the Going the Extra Mile category. The nominees are Elroy Peters, Devonta Terrell, and Al Bailey. And the winner in the category of Going the Extra Mile for the St. Anne chapter is Elroy Peters. All right, and our final category for the St. Anne chapter is Rising Star. And the nominees are Devonta Terrell, Elroy Peters, and Debian Bailey. And the winner in the category of Rising Star for the St. Anne chapter is Devonta Terrell. Right. Now we're moving to the head office. We like to know what's going on at the head office, you know. All right. And like with the other chapters, we have the similar categories. And so we begin with the Outstanding Staff Member category. And the nominees are Patrick Laylor, Nicola Carpenter, Ronald Richardson, Christine Smith, and Pauline Okiki. And the winner in the category of Outstanding Staff Member for Head Office is Ronald Richardson. All right, now we move to our next category for head office, and this is the Rising Star at Head Office Award. And the nominees are Ronald Richardson and Tashika Thomas Gooden. And after the votes have been counted and tallied, the result came in, and the winner is Tashika Thomas Gooden.
Thank you.
And that's it? Just thank you? We're not going to show why we're the Rising Star with some more speech? That's all right. Congratulations on your award. Now we go into another category, and this is the Long Service Award. And these nominees have been serving for 5 years at least. And the nominees? Oh, they are all awardees. Oh, so it's not who served the time best. All right. The fact that you have stayed, is it willingly or unwillingly? Because some persons might say, I didn't do it willingly. I didn't do it of my own mind. I was forced by them. All right, beautiful. Well, if you have been with JASL for 5 years or more, you definitely are deserving of this award. And so the awardees for the Long Service Awards are Simone Phillips, our next awardee is Desmond Campbell. Our next awardee is Nilfia Hazel Anderson. Our next awardee is Roger Picton. Our fifth of six awardees is Odale Neal. And our sixth and final awardee in the category of Long Service Awards is Pauline Okiki. In her absence, Kristen Sims will be collecting on her behalf. Now we move into another category, a very important one, because with the work to be done, all can't be done solely and independently without the help and support of other entities. And so we'll have our most outstanding sub-recipient, sub-awardee award. And this is in recognition of your outstanding performance in the implementation of the Global Fund and or USAID grant. And the nominees are as follows. Jamaica Network of Seropositives. Equality for All Foundation. Jamaica for Justice. Transwave Jamaica. The Ashe Company. Children First Agency. And Larry Chang Foundation. And the winner for the most outstanding sub-recipient, sub-awardee award is the Ashe Company. All right. I missed the acceptance speech. Was that a performance or a speech? Oh, we'll take it after because, you know, I'm always up for a performance by Ashe. Always delivering high-value entertainment. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a citation, and this will be done by Mr. Ian McKnight, Board Director for JASL. This will be in the form of a video presentation.
Canon Garth, we hail you on this very, very important milestone in your life, and thank you for having served Jamaica AIDS Support for Life as its chair, as a board member, as a strong, strong supporter, having been rooting for us for such a long time. Of course, mine is the honor of having met you, interfaced with you through the United Theological College of the West Indies. I was over the moon that you were one of the first clergy to take on HIV in a frontal way. You not only took it on, but you entrenched yourself in imparting and sensitizing, imparting the knowledge and sensitizing persons who were going out into the field as ministers. You set the example, you set the pace. When JAS was recruiting board members and your name came up, I remember somebody saying, no, you know, a clergyman will not get involved with Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, will not want to sit on its board, will not want to identify with the organization. I didn't have any such reservation. And when we approached you, you said yes, and you came, you served, and you conquered. And when it was time to step up for leadership, that again was another. Will this priest do this work? Will this priest be willing to publicly identify with the organization? You didn't drop, you didn't miss a beat. You went straight for it. And you definitely said yes, and you served, and served very, very well. Your leadership style was accommodating, was inclusive. Your leadership style was consultative. You spoke with and included all of us. But above all, you set the pace and you set the example for us. And that just simply helped to bring the organization to another level. You know, it's intriguing how history has a way of connecting the dots. So here you were as chair, working with an executive director who was a student when you were a chaplain, a student in high school when you were a chaplain of the same school. Isn't that something else? And on the board sat members of your congregation, members of your own denomination. On the board sat persons of diverse backgrounds, yet you, in your true style, were able to respect all persons, hear all opinions, and process. Canon Garth, we thank you. You know, this is not a simple feat at all. We don't take it for granted because you did so at your own expense of your family. I paid tribute to your sons and your wife right now because many a night you came home late to them because of JAS. I pay tribute to you because I know that you got flack from even within the clergy on your stance on the issues Jamaica AIDS Support for Life represents. I know that it was not always a walk in the park for you, and I thank you for your leadership as our chair. I thank you for your leadership as a brother. I thank you for believing in the mandate of Jamaica AIDS Support for Life. And I really and truly thank you for carrying on the mantle, for making it all happen. Bless you and thank you so much for this leadership. Thank you so much for your instrumentality. And thank you more than anything else for helping us to bring Jamaica AIDS Support for Life to another level. Bless you always.
Come on, I need everyone inside here to give a big round of applause to Canon Garth Mant. And Canon, I'm going to invite you to come up to the podium, and I'll invite Mr. Marshall Stewart to make a special presentation from the incoming to the outgoing.
You know, there's not much I can add to what Ian has said. You know, Ian went to a very good school and was very well taught. So I can't add much when somebody from your cast speaks. I can't add much to that. But I will say that coming in the footsteps of Canon is a great honor, and I can only hope to be half as good as he was. The only thing I'm not worried about is that I don't have to fill his shoes because my feet are bigger. But I really appreciate the leadership that he has given me, even during my time here at the board. And I know every member of staff also enjoyed his tenure as leadership and really appreciated his leadership. And I just also want to say the one thing I'm jealous of is that Canon has a title, and he's called Canon. And everybody around here insists on calling me Mr. Stewart. And I hate it because I'm not my father. So I'm telling you all again that my name is Michelle, like Madonna, the one named Wonder. So anyway, so Canon guys, again, appreciate your service and thank you for all that you have done. I will breach in the COVID protocol, but no worry, we are good. I was asking you to come into the picture and come and say something to the lady.
Oh, Lord. So Canon, who would have been my direct boss for 9 of my nearly 11 years at Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, it has been such a pleasure. I've never met someone so, distinguished, no force, but he just knows how to get you to do what you need to do. But your support has been, we did great things, and I'm so proud. Yes, we did great things. And your leadership, of course, steered us to where we are today, and we are forever grateful. He's not gone, guys. He's still on the board. So he's not going anywhere. But I just want to say that we appreciate you, we love you, and we know that you love us just as we do. So thank you so much. This is our token. Thank you. Yes, find somewhere nice and put it up.
I remember board meeting next
I remember board meeting is on the 16th. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Sure.
Thank you,
Come and say a few words, Ken.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's not very often that I'm speechless. My work is to talk, so I can understand. I was teaching this morning when Candace called me to remind me I was coming, but I was coming late. And so now I can understand the anxiety to make sure that I was here, because this is a pleasant surprise. I mean, I never expected this. So it is quite a surprise, but a joy nonetheless, and a delight. And I was grateful to hear from Ian. Ian and I, as he said, goes back to seminary days at UTC, and we got into all kinds of pranks. We won't get into that. But nonetheless, yes, when I was invited to serve on the board, it was quite a delight. It was around the same time that we were introducing and mainstreaming HIV and AIDS in the training at the seminary. And so it was quite a delight to be far more engaged at Jamaica AIDS Support for Life. I don't know how many years it has been. It's been quite a while. But it has been a delight and continues to be so. You heard I'm still serving on the board, and I will continue to do so for as long as it is possible. And I'm excited when I hear the awards. I know most of the people, and I know you're doing your man, your woman work in the field, and the results speak for themselves. So thanks again very much for this award, and it's really a delight. I accept it. I'm glad Ian mentioned my family. I have 2 young men. They are young men now, and my wife Denise, and they have been patient over the years. They have put up with me coming home late at nights, leaving early mornings. I remember there was one time when we practically had a board meeting every night, because it was a turbulent time for the organization, and we had to steer things through the challenges, so we practically had to meet every evening. But nonetheless, it was a joy, and it continues to be so. You are a world-class organization now, and I look forward to continue being associated with good people and good things. Thanks again.
Wow. If you were in the room with us, you would understand how overwhelming the emotions are, and also how overwhelming the titles present are. And with that, Mr. Marshall, there is hope. Because you see, while Sir Minot is canon, I guess you would have earned the title over a period of time through studies and work and dedication and all that comes with the title. There are other means through which you can be a canon. Because you see, you are actually seeing us through a brand of camera known as Canon. So get yourself one. You see, you're very, very close to the title of Canon. And in fact, I go further in letting you know that our entertainer, in the form of our DJ, resident DJ for today's proceedings, is also Canon, DJ Canon. So yet again, there is more hope. You can become a DJ. You can become a DJ and borrow the title or the name, whichever you prefer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very important award coming up. And for this, because of the magnitude of this award, and as much as I admire and wish to emulate the characteristics of a well-known entertainer, that of one Steve Harvey, I don't want to mess up nobody's name and call the wrong winner. So I'll pass this burden and responsibility to Mrs. Candace to give the Best Chapter Award. So, Mrs. Walton Livermore, I invite you to the podium to do just that.
We're at a disadvantage in the room. I'm not able to see everybody in this moment. Not even I don't know what is under there. Not true. All right, so this award, every year, it's the one that it's the hardest to decide. You see, Mr. Price, you only get to come sometimes. When you have a team like I do, and you can see the work at every level, the dedication, the commitment of the team, how they are able to operate. We do have our fights, but at the end of the day, the work triumphs. It's very hard to pick a one chapter, knowing that it's 4 chapters, really, if we count head office, but we have to do it. So I will give the special mention parts of the award first. As we deliberated on the award, we felt that there were 2 individuals, based on what they would have achieved for the year, needed to stand on its own. And we really couldn't, when we were tallying, it couldn't fit into the chapter part of it because it was really about their unique and individual effort. And one is an individual. You see, we have some boxes about the place. We call them our love boxes. And the individual is very diligent to ensure that when you come in here, you spread your love with Jamaica AIDS Support for Life. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't say much more than this special award, if the person can find me, goes to none other than Miss Michelle Getton. Mr. Sims would tell me every day, Michelle earns more money for the organization. She rival in the ED. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And this is how we say thanks. And keep on doing what you're doing. All right. Yes. The other awardee, listen, nobody knows about these awards. So you see, these are the secret pieces. The other awardee, whilst the individual is a manager, and managers do not get awards, because the awards is the management and the board that, you know, this is how we commend our staff. But there's an area in our programmatic work that we struggle with from time to time. We do well in testing persons, we do well in providing the treatment services, and it's a national challenge, actually, in terms of that middle ground of when we identify somebody that is positive and getting that person into care. That's where the fall off for the entire country goes. And so, especially this manager has taken it upon herself to ensure that all positives that are identified are linked to care. And when we look at the linkage tracker across the JASL sites, the truth is that manager linked. The individuals are linked in over 90% of the cases. And so, Miss Nicole Morris, if you can find me, I really want to say, I know as managers we don't get awards, but we have to point it out. This is what we would like to see more of in the organization. So come. Remember me when you go into your kingdom. Oh, Lord. All right, now to the real business. So, when I give this award, the other 2 chapters usually don't talk to me for the following week because every chapter deserves the award. But when we looked at the 3 chapters in 2021, boy, so many highlights all over the place. So we said, what did it boil down to? It boiled down to the chapter that is consistent. Consistency is what is making the difference in this award. If we go from a prevention angle, the chapter is consistent. Meeting targets, close to targets. When we go from a treatment perspective, the chapter is on target. People who are in care are doing well, and in fact, it's something that we continue to look at. They are exceptional in terms of staying in care and getting to viral suppression, the quality of care. When we look at the dynamics, it's just really spot on in the chapter. They lost out slightly to a chapter in a previous year, and we could see, how they really shrunk. But the truth is that was not their year. 2021 was the year for this chapter. Yes, because the acrylic. Oh, go on. Oh, yes. So this chapter really, they enjoy things because of their physical space. They enjoy the fact that their manager is a woman. That's all chapters. But they have an upstairs and downstairs, all right? All 3 have upstairs and downstairs. They are selfless, and their geography is expansive, but somehow they get the job done. And so the best chapter this year goes to the St. Anne chapter. I know that the RPM who is on leave is in the St. Anne room, and I will keep it in my office. I'm not going to allow the other chapters, especially Kingston, to get a hold of it. I will keep this award in my office for you, and as soon as Mr. Peters is in Kingston, and I know he's coming, he'll come today, they'll come and retrieve the award. I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of all the chapters, but St. Anne, you stood out in 2021, and the honor is yours. You have the bragging rights until 2022 Staff Awards. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Ole, ole, ole. Oh, wow. St. Anne must be singing, cheering, and be extremely joyous, and deservingly so. Congratulations to the St. Anne chapter on copying the Best Chapter Award for 2021. Yes, look at them celebrating. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well tried, Kingston and Montego Bay. All right, now we have a special performance. And this will be by the Kingston chapter. So let's have our performers. Let's put our hands together and make them welcome.
They look like big, strong hands, don't they?
having the ability to take hold of anything, to control anything, able to take anything in its grasp. They have the ability to clear all paths, to raise burdens off your back, to get the job done. They look like big, strong hands, don't they? Or are they really? Why do we call them big, strong hands when they are incapable of holding on to the things that we deserve the most? Love, laughter, life, joy. Why do we call them big and strong when all they seek to do is hold on to the things that we hate the most? Pain, anguish, turmoil, tears. Are these the same big, strong hands that we depend on every time to rescue us, to aid us, to defend us, to dry our tears when these are the same hands that cause us to cry these tears in the first place? Are these the same hands that my ancestors were chained by, abused by, branded on, forced to work with, and scarred for me to have a normal life today? Where were these big, strong hands then? If these are big, strong hands, why do I continue to suffer? Why is there pain? If these are the hands that you described to me so beautifully, then why do I feel so little and so weak? These hands continue to deceive us, making us think that all is well. These hands continue to uphold this facade, this deception of beauty, when all the things making life worth living continue to slip through the cracks of our fingers each and every day. Are these the same hands that you look at, love, and embrace yourself with? These hands are filled with so many imperfections, and yet we call them big and strong. They look like big, strong hands, don't they? Then if they are, why wasn't I able to hold on?
That's a performance that leaves you to think and to contemplate and reflect. We'll now have our vote of thanks, and I'll invite Mrs. Xavier Bromfield to do the honors.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chairman of the Board, JASL, Mr. Michelle Stewart, Executive Director, JASL, Mrs. Candice Walton Livermore, Acting Senior Medical Officer of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dr. Alicia Rob Allen, our most valued invited guest, Mr. Raymond Price, special guest, our valued staff members, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks for our 10th Staff Awards. I, on behalf of Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, extend a high level of gratitude to our guest speaker, Mr. Raymond Price, for gracing the JASL staff with your presence. and for highlighting the heroes and heroine at JASL who sees the human in all our clients and who continue to dedicate their lives to end stigma and discrimination to all individuals affected by HIV in Jamaica. Mr. Chairman, our special guest, our Master of Ceremony, Mr. Ryan Dixon. Ladies and gentlemen, our dedicated staff members and partners, thank you. Thank you for celebrating this special day with the JASL team. And congratulations to all awardees. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much, Mrs. Xavier. Oh, Xavier. Sorry, I said Xavier. The X always catch me at the beginning of the word. Right. Now, the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. And as we are about to conclude our program, I want to thank you all for making today possible by just being a part of the program. And with the heart of inclusion, we want to thank our DJ who has kept us entertained throughout the morning. That's DJ Cannon. Give it up for DJ Cannon, who will be, by the way, closing us off in fine style. To the technical team for keeping us on cue and keeping the transition smooth. Let's give them a round of applause, man. To the specially invited technician, him doing something, I don't know what he's doing. Him just stand up there touching buttons and pointing a camera at me. Thank you for being here. You know, Canon, again, thank you very much for your invaluable commitment through the years and that you will continue to give. We even have celebrities stepping in at this time as we're about to conclude the program. A representative from Ashe, right? Chairman, thank you for having me. The entire JASL team, we want to thank you for having me. So just before we go, and before I give my closing statement, seeing that we have our or representative from the Ashe company with us, we'll allow for the special presentation to be given.
Oh, so I'm not the celebrity. Conroy, to you and the team at Ashe, congratulations. You worked very, very hard. It's a very deserving award, so please extend our wishes to the team. It was a good year, and we look forward to even better year for 2022. Thank you.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you so much. Oh, my mask, I have to unmask. Thank you. Let me say thank you on behalf of the Ashe team. This awards ceremony that JASL does each year is actually quite inspiring to me from an organizational level. It's not something that Ashe does, it's something that we always intend and hope to emulate because it encourages and motivates, and especially in a climate where things are sometimes rough. The members of Ashe have it rough in terms of just consistently adjusting to meet targets and to stay on top of things, even though sometimes we fall short. So even this is great encouragement for the team. I will pass on to the team, and I want to say thank you very much for the recognition. JASL, Candace, board, thanks.
Now, Conrad, before you get out of here, they say must make hay while the sun shine. And I hear it says pure top performance go to Ashe, you know. So if you don't mind, I want to put in my audition right away. I don't know all the words to this song, but I think it will get me somewhere. Baby, come over. Casino. It's Corona. But again, thank you. I echo the sentiments of JASL. Thank you, Conroy, to you and your team for your continued support that you've given. Now in closing, I would like to say to everyone, members of staff, support personnel, every and anyone who is a part of the movement of JASL. Valuable is the work you do, outstanding in how you always come through, loyal, sincere, and full of good cheer, untiring in your efforts throughout the year. Notable are the contributions you make, trustworthy in every project you take, eager to reach your every goal, effective in the way you fulfill your role, ready with a smile like a shining star, special and wonderful. That's what you are. I am Ryan Dixon. It has been my absolute pleasure being a part of this year's celebration. Congratulations to all members of staff, all recipients. And for the year coming ahead, continue to press on. The work is there to be done, and your task is great. But continue living on. Now, I want everybody present and online to stand up at this point in time, because it is the middle of the day, right? We can't tired yet, right? And before ethnic fatigue sets in for those who were at home eating, you think I didn't see you? We want to, end with a bang. And I think, Conroy, I can call upon you suddenly to assist me with this. I know this is not something you were expecting, sir, but if you don't mind joining me up here, sir, I definitely know I need your help with this one. So just come, man. Just forward, sir. And this now is where myself and Sir Conroy and the DJ Cannon is going to lead you into some movement. DJ, turn it up. So get up where you are now, get up in your living room, wherever you are in your bedroom, and let's dance. Yeah, Cannon, if you know some moves, they can do it, right? See that?
So just rap bogle dance. Some of your tune play. I'm missing on that. After no so bogle stay. She can't do it.
Come here, man. Come on up here, man. Come on.
Me love how the girl them rock so, deep so. Look at them look sweet. Trust me, I and I love stand up and see. Uptown, downtown, I rock to the beat. Jeremy and I try about him already. He better make stuff. Teach him the step. I'll read one that stiff like this. Never eat.
Next tune.
Dance alive again. John, Morgan, Eva, Stacy. People smile again. So they can the dance on fraternity. Do what you feel.
You have these up.
Already dance, kid of the dance, so dancing at Jamaica, middle name. Feels the people of England have trend. Immigration, I call out your name. Now make your friend get caught. Signal the plane, signal the plane, make we signal the plane. Signal the plane, make we signal the plane. Signal the plane, make we signal the plane. Now make your friend get caught. Signal the plane. Good. From you know you in your own suit. Lava lava show them the parachute. Parachute. Signal the plane, we dance all night again.
Come so
people smile again. So they can the dance on fraternity. Do what you feel like. No fight. Shit, everybody like Jamaica people. Already dance up, kid of the dance so. Dancing at Jamaica, middle name. Feels the people of England have trend. Immigration, I call out your name. Now make your friend get caught. Signal the plane. Signal the plane, make we signal the plane. Signal the plane, make we signal the plane. Signal the plane, make we signal the plane. Now make your friend get caught. Signal the plane. Cool. From you know you in your own suit. Lava lava show them the parachute. 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 Everybody feel do the parachute. Good.
Some of you inside you're behaving like you can't move. Some of you behaving as if you're too old. So hold on up, Mr. Chairman. You know what you need to do? You know what some of you need to do? Next tune, DJ. Alright, hold on. We can't play all that. Wait, let's go to the next song. You hear? Listen, we're going to keep the fun going, but it was a wonderful day. Have yourselves a great rest of the day. The summer is back.